Thanks, Dan. Today, the government will issue new guidance aimed at encouraging local authorities to allow parents to adopt a child of a different ethnicity.
It also wants to stop councils from rejecting parents currently deemed too old. Two people who agree with both of the government's recommendations are Alex and Dominic Bemrose, who came up against every barrier it would appear possible when they were trying to adopt a child in the UK and ended up adopting abroad successfully, thankfully.
Yes,
that was,
yes.
Was it 2 years ago? You
2.5 years ago.
2.5 years, now you've got this lovely little boy, Jose, from Guatemala.
Yes, that's right.
Which thankfully it has worked out for you in the end, but it was a struggle.
It certainly was, yes.
So you decided you wanted to adopt. So what happens? You go to your local authority, your local council, and you say, what? We're a white couple.
Yes, well, we just rang them and said, you know, that we wished to adopt. At the time, it was siblings that we thought we'd like to adopt as young as possible. We spent 6 months trying to adopt in this country, and we were turned away from, I think we approached something like 7 local authorities, and we were turned away from all of them.
On what basis?
Basically on grounds of our ethnicity. Several of them actually said they wouldn't even interview us because they weren't accepting any more white couples onto their books. So after sort of banging our head against a brick wall, it seemed, we decided to go overseas and we adopted Jose from Guatemala. And then after we'd brought him back home, a short while later, we decided we'd try and adopt again. And we thought that this time, because we were a mixed race family, it would be easier to adopt in this country. But our local authorities' response was that now we wouldn't be eligible for a white child, now that we had a child of a different ethnicity in our home. And not only that, but we wouldn't be eligible for a child of any other ethnicity unless a Guatemalan child came onto their books, which of course seemed
thin on the ground, you would have
ludicrous to us.
Local authorities, yes.
Yes, incredible. So this means that there are thousands of children within the British system who can't, are homeless effectively, with no parents to look after them, and yet here you are with a lovely home willing to offer it, and you're being told no.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, the important thing is obviously giving the child a stable home and a stable family. But at the time, the current guide, or that time, the guidelines were saying that they should be adopting only a child of the same ethnicity, which obviously meant there was going to be a disparity, as the majority of adopters tend to be white.
Can you see any logic in their argument when, as a parent, if you had a black or Asian child, can you see any sense?
I can see the logic in the fact that I think it's important to take into consideration their ethnicity. And I think we've come a long way, society's come a long way since the 1950s and 1960s, when you sort of brushed onto the carpet a child's background and they were being brought up by a white couple, so forget that they are black or where they came from. I think now people realise that it is important, their ethnicity is important, and we were very much taught of that when we went through our adoption preparation courses. And we do include Jose's background a lot in his life. He knows he was born in Guatemala. He knows, if he sees pictures of volcanoes, he says, oh, that's Guatemala. And, you know, he's well aware of that. We have friends that have also adopted children from Guatemala. So we're bringing him up, very aware of his background.
There's more to Guatemala than just volcanoes, surely, though.
There is a lot more to Guatemala than volcanoes, but for a 3-year-old, that's the most exciting part about it.
He looks incredibly happy, and I'm sure you must be as well. He's changed your lives, I'm sure.
Oh, completely. I mean, he's an absolute joy to have, and we couldn't have asked more. So, I mean, there is the positive side behind the adoptions, behind adopting. Problems we found was that going through the system within the UK, so we had to go through the UK system first, was that it was a negative. There was almost negatives at every stage as well.
Okay, well, listen, thanks very much for coming in.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
Will you do it again then? Yes.
Well, I'm not sure, but I think we would have definitely had the guidelines been different several years ago. Yes, yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Send him there, love.
Yes.